this was good. Good job. We've got chocolate peanut butter protein smoothie and strawberry blueberry ginger kombucha. I've never been a protein smoothie girl, and I'm not necessarily in it for the protein, but it's chocolate protein. I realized we have chocolate protein in the cupboard from it's my husband's from, I'm sure, a long time ago. And it makes one heck of a smoothie. So we've been doing peanut butter, banana, chocolate smoothies, and the kids love them, and I like them too. So this is going to be a more kombucha focused vlog. I've got a holiday farmers market that I'm participating in on Saturday, so we'll show a little bit of that. And then we have deliveries to do today, so we'll go to River Falls, Menominee, and Hudson to do those drop-offs. And the Menominee stretch will make it kind of a long time. I think we'll probably be in the car for like 2.5 hours. So I took the kids on a walk this morning to hopefully just get their legs stretched a little bit so they, number one, hopefully nap, but number two, just kind of got their wiggles out a little bit so they can just be comfy in the car. This is such a good batch. We partnered with the White Pine Berry Farm because they do organic strawberries and organic blueberries, and it's just such a good, honestly, summer flavor. But I don't know, the ginger kind of brings it into fall and winter a little bit. It's so good though, the kids love it. That's what we're bringing to the majority of our accounts today too, so everybody will have it. And then we just have a little catching up to do about, I guess, like expansion. We're on year 5 of business right now, and we're getting to the point where we're reaching quite a few bottlenecks, and we're working through them. Some of them are much bigger than others. So for example, if we want to up production, I'm maxed out on my fermenter space right now, the one that we got in January. It's like doing the most. So especially in the summer, it can't keep up with demand. So we need a second fermenter, which we actually already got, which is great. We got another 100-gallon fermenter from a gal who was downsizing near Madison. But now the kitchen that we work in is so small, we can't have both fermenters working at the same time in there. So that poses another bottleneck. So this has just been very much a year of growth and problem solving, pivoting, and trying to establish new rhythms. So yeah, just a year very much of being unsettled, but hopefully for the long-term goal of expansion and becoming more settled and becoming the well-oiled machine I felt like we've been for the past 5 years. Anyway, we're gonna get on the road. I'm gonna get the kiddos ready to go in the car, and we'll go pick up our kegs from our off-site location, and then we'll start on deliveries. Okay. I'm sufficiently sweaty. We're loaded up with 12 kegs, and I even used a dolly to cart them around, and I'm still should have worn a t-shirt. All right, we're off to Menominee. I've actually recently started seeing the chiropractor again, and the chiropractic office that I've been going to is owned by one of my brother's great childhood friends. Her name is Whitney, and they are very comprehensive in their chiropractic. They pay so much attention to the individual, and it's not, I've been to chiropractic offices where they just are like churning, they're just like churning people out, like you're in and out 15 minutes, and like they barely even check in with what you need. But this first appointment that I had with this gal was an hour long, and she spent like 30 minutes of it like trying to, well, let me back up. I've been going there because I've always had like sort of lower back issues, but my upper back has recently been a huge point of concern, to the point where I I didn't realize that it was a chiropractic issue. I literally thought I was having a stroke because my hand would go numb and I was getting like cold sweat feelings in all my extremities, and I was getting like dizzy. That would come on in a variety of situations. And so when I went to the chiropractor, she said that we were going to try and recreate the dizziness so she could pinpoint the best way to remedy it. It was so nice because then she spent the next 30 minutes giving me like a sports massage, and girlfriend had very strong hands and she was like, this is really going to hurt. I was like, bring it on. And yes, it did hurt, but it was like the best. Like I knew she was doing exactly like what needed to happen to help my back and like then neck and the head release, because I was getting headaches too, and I'm not a headache person either. And she was like, do you do a lot of heavy lifting? At first I said, I mean, I have children and I'm carrying them around a lot. She was like, yeah, that'll do it. And then I was like, I also am lifting like 60, 70 pound kegs pretty regularly. She was like, yeah, that'll do it too. Couldn't recommend them enough. They're called Move Well Chiropractic out of Hudson, Wisconsin. On the topic of updates, expansion updates, one of them is that we got a new truck for the work, which has been simply the best. I don't like spending money at all. But now that we have, and our car was paid off before, I mean, and we still have it, but we had no car payments. Taking on a new car loan was not high on my list of things I was happy about. But now that I'm driving around in the new truck, I'm pretty happy about it. So the new truck has been one. Like I was talking about before, we are pushing the boundaries of what our kitchen can handle as far as what we want to put out. Like the kitchen that we rent is not big. I've shown it on here before, and it cannot house another fermenter because the guy I rent from needs to be able to use it too. So we're at the point where if we want to continue expanding, we need to be looking for somewhere else to work from. And there are a lot of different options that come along with that. I've reached out to and even toured a couple of places, like the local golf course. They have a huge commercial kitchen and they don't really use it a ton as far as I know. So I toured that. And then I have a friend who does cold pressed juices, and I went and toured her space, and it would have been too tight for the both of us. And so my husband and I were kind of toying around with the idea of purchasing land to maybe build our own commercial kitchen on. With that, I know obviously I am pretty well connected in the food entrepreneur world, at least in Western Wisconsin. I know of quite a few small either cottage food producers, bakers, people, there's a whole slew of people who are producing food and need somewhere to do it that can be licensed and that they don't have to put a ton of capital into in order to use, just like a shared use community kitchen situation. And so my husband and I were like, if we're toying around with the idea of building a kitchen for ourselves, why not build it big enough where other people can use it as well? So that is what we're working on. It's interesting because there's so much to consider and so much data you could gather in order to help guide those decisions. And it's kind of like, what's that saying? Like putting the carrot before the horse, or the horse before the cart, whatever. Or maybe like chicken and an egg is an easier way to say that. It's hard to know what to do first. We're at a hurry up and wait point because we personally are going to need something sooner rather than later. But trying to find land right now, land is where we live, it's not cheap, but we want to be careful about how far out we get, because the more into the country we get, which we would personally be fine with, but if our goal is to make it a shared use space, we want to make it accessible to as many people as possible. So we're trying to be really careful about where we choose. So that parameter is making it kind of tricky. There are just a lot of variables that need to be considered, and we don't know what we don't know. So we're currently learning a lot. I mean, it's exciting. It's very exciting, and I know we will do this. Like, that, it's not a question of if in my mind, but of when. We have someone, maybe a couple of someones who are interested in investing in this endeavor in order to sort of put together a business plan-ish, a very loose business plan, not only for the potential investors, but for us too. I put out a survey to surrounding farmers markets and asked them to just send it out to their vendors, and just to kind of gauge the need, preferences on location and cost, and a pretty comprehensive survey. And right away we got back quite a few responses, and I got like 3 phone calls from people, and that was just after probably like 12 hours after sending it out. That was uplifting, sort of validated in the community need for something like this, because I'd love to be able to provide something like that. Hell, I need that. I'm the person that needs that. And so if we can provide that to other food entrepreneurs in the area, I think that would be a really wonderful stewardship of, you know, our energy. Okay, we just dropped off at Raw Deal in Menominee. I got a hazelnut latte. Their coffee is so good. And then I got the kids a chocolate chip cookie and one of these peanut butter bars. I'm a sucker for a peanut butter bar. I wish I would have filmed it or gotten it on film just for my own, like, it just made my heart so happy. But the barista there, she has been working there since January, and I've run into her a couple of times. But we were chatting a bit today, and she was just so complimentary and asking questions about the company and like how long I've been doing it and where we do it out of. And she was just like, every time I come into work, I look forward to having my cup of kombucha, and it helps if I'm having like an upset stomach or something. Sometimes you get into that headspace where you're like, does what I do really like, if I stop doing this, would anybody care? And it's just nice to hear that somebody goes out of their way to share a positive story about how your life's work basically has impacted them. I'm grateful to have run into her and been able to talk with her today. All right, buddy, are you ready? The kids both napped on our way over here, but now they're up. Hopefully the cookies keep them occupied for a little while. This peanut butter bar is going to keep me occupied.